an act exempting the underprivileged and homeless from the required payment of subsidious bond to perfect an appeal in relation to ejectment cases filed against them, amending for the purpose Republic Number 7279, otherwise known as the Urban Development Housing Act.
Thank you, Mr. President. May we recognize to co-sponsor the measure Senator Rodante Marcoletta.
Is there an objection? Senator Rodante Marcoletta is recognized to sponsor the measure.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, I rise to co-sponsor Senate Bill number 70 under Committee Report number 55, a measure that seeks to uphold one of the most fundamental principles of justice, that access to courts must not depend on one's capacity to pay, but on the merits of one's cause. First of all, Mr. President, I'd like to thank the sponsor, Senator Chis Escudero, whose sponsorship speech he wishes to be inserted into the records, for supporting and sponsoring this bill. This measure addresses a harsh and often overlooked reality faced by our most vulnerable sectors, the underprivileged and the homeless, when they are subjected to ejectment proceedings. Thus, the bill I authored seeks to exempt the underprivileged and the homeless from the required payment of supersedious bond in perfecting appeal in relation to ejectment cases filed against them. For families already struggling to survive, for individuals with no stable sources of income, and for the homeless with no means at all, the requirement to post a supersedious bond becomes an insurmountable barrier, which is not merely a procedural requirement, but a denial of the right to appeal. Mr. President, in most cases, families facing eviction are unable to pursue legitimate remedies because they cannot afford to pay the bond required to stay the execution of judgment while their appeal is pending. This measure seeks to correct that injustice. This is a bill I have been pushing since my time as a member of the House of Representatives, grounded in the belief that our legal system must be responsible to the realities faced by most vulnerable sectors of our society. And I am truly glad to see this measure finally come to fruition. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Senator Marcoletta. Majority Leader.
Yes, to allow our colleagues to study the measure, Mr. President, I move to suspend consideration of the same.
Suspended.